All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Give me a touch on the top prop bets today on both PrizePicks and Underdog. Let's go ahead and get into it. But first, just a quick recap from yesterday. So yesterday, guys, the PrizePicks by the day, which is designed for Taco Tuesday. I'll get into Taco Tuesday in just a second. Ends up going 1, 2, and 1. We had a push. Now, this push right here, 15 points, kind of amplifies really why having that slight edge of 15.5 points on Underdog for the under was great. You know, we were able to go 2 for 2 on the Underdog by the day. That was nice. Overall on the day, yesterday, guys, going 3 for 4 and 1 push on PrizePicks. I would have signed up for that 100%. Like, yesterday's board was not the best, so the fact that we were able to have a decent day as a whole, we'll take that. And I do hope that you guys were able to use the Underdog props, those 2 props, with the discount tokens that were available. I like the fact that Underdog gave us some discounts because PrizePicks was struggling with their Taco Tuesday discounts. Obviously, they're having some sort of technical difficulties. They say that they're going to give us some at some point this week, some more tacos. So I'm assuming at least 3. We'll see what happens there. Definitely strange. Just 18 hours ago was the last communications on this, but I'm expecting some discounts, whether that be today, Thursday, or Friday. But with that, guys, getting into the PrizePicks board that we have today, still a little bit of a tight board. I don't exactly like that. I'll get into my favorite NBA bets here in just a second, but want to show you guys the 2 boards that we have. So on PrizePicks, really the best prop bet that we have is going to be a 53.9%. We have like really these top 3 right here are all 3 bets I'm going to be betting on. I think that those are all fine. Another one that I actually don't mind is going to be Missy to get over his rebounds and assists. I'm assuming that he's going to get the minutes like he has been getting. The matchup against Cleveland, I do worry about potentially getting into foul trouble. But if you guys look at it, the Pelicans are pretty banged up today. They're going to be without DeJounte Murray. They might be without Zion. They're going to be without CJ McCollum. Heck, they could be without Jordan Hawkins as well, which should lead to a decent amount of minutes here. And so I do think there's a good chance that he gets the over just in rebounds. Maybe we can tack on another assist here as well. So I don't mind that. The fact that the board is telling us to bet this over, I'm going to be okay with getting to that one as well. And then we have like a college football under rushing touchdown or anytime TDs. That's decent. You know, we have some decent bets here, but really any of these ones that are under now 39%, I don't feel the need to go out of our way to target those. It's nice to have more bets that are decently popping up than yesterday compared to yesterday. And then we jump on into Underdog. Do you want to call it? We are getting some birdie or better props that are popping up here, guys. I'm fine with these. Like, I have already bet them. If you guys want to bet them, by all means, go for it. At the same time, it is round 1. I don't necessarily love attacking prop bets in round 1 when there isn't any prop line differences. The course should play easy. Without getting into too much details, the course has played easy, but we've only seen the tournament played on this course once, which, if you guys don't know anything about golf, they can change the course design to the point where it does make it a little bit more difficult to predict. We do have one really good EV bet, though, straight up, is Brandon Aubrey to get under 1.5 extra points made, which does seem to be a little bit crazy to me. I don't think that offense is going to suffer too much. You know, I would expect them to be able to score 2 touchdowns. Interesting that that one's popping up. Another one that's kind of interesting that's popping up slightly is going to be Alvin Kamara to get under 17.5 rush attempts. I don't feel the need to go in on that one too much. But if you guys wanted to, you could. You know, we are getting some prop line differences here. Daniel Jones for his passing yards. I think the over is good. The issue with Daniel Jones is we don't know for sure that he's going to play a full game. Like, we have seen him have to sit out a game. I do expect him to play the full game. And if he does, the line on Underdog clearly seems to be a little bit too low. So I actually think that that's going to be a pretty good over for us. From there, I'm pretty good. From there, I don't think we need to go too crazy. So let's go ahead and jump into my favorite NBA bets. But before we do that, guys, I do want to give a quick thank you to everyone that liked yesterday's video. We were able to get to 100 likes, which really helped out, honestly, the views on yesterday's video. So guys, if you can do that again today, hit that thumbs up button. That does help out a lot. And part of my thing is I like to, really break down the slate first before giving you guys bets, instead of like, I prioritize good content versus like getting out the content early. And I think that's why we have typically good results. But looking at the NBA bets that I like right now, I'm going to go in kind of order of when the games are taking place. So starting out with the early game, we got Dallas here. And Kyrie Irving going against Chicago. First and foremost, this is going to be a pretty decent matchup. One of the most popular bets on PrizePicks right now is actually going to be Kyrie Irving to get over his 24.5 points. This is one that I actually liked before even seeing that. So there's no like sort of confirmation bias going on. And I think that's important to call out. The reason why I think a lot of people are gravitating towards this bet is you look at his per 36 production with someone like PJ Washington off the court. His per 36 production is 36 points per 36 with PJ Washington off the court. Now that might not, like PJ Washington being off the court might not seem like a big difference, but he is a guy that can score, can soak up a little bit of usage. But I did find that extremely interesting. And it's also just the matchup here with the Chicago Bulls, a pretty good matchup for opposing guards. Now, the concern is that this game does have blowout potential, 10-point spread. I do worry about that. Like if this ends up missing, it's going to be because he just didn't get the minutes. Now, he's projected to get 37 minutes. As long as he gets that, we're going to be good to go with that prop bet. And for what it's worth, I do want to call it, there's another player in this game that could be in for a bigger minute workload. It's going to be Daniel Gafford. PJ Washington's already out. Derek Lively could end up sitting as well. I just want you to be prepared if that does end up happening. Right now, he's averaging 21 points per 36 and 14 rebounds per 36 just with PJ Washington off the court. So if you give him more minutes, obviously he's going to be someone that really should be able to go off. The issue is he does tend to get into foul trouble. So, that could be still a slightly risky bet. Another kind of interesting spot that we have is going to be with Denver. So Denver is going to be without a lot of their key contributors. Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon are both going to be out. And so with that, we are seeing Russell Westbrook and his lines kind of be, I don't want to say correct. Russell Westbrook has played a decent amount of minutes. I actually think that his overs would all be good sportsbook bets. I just don't think they're good bets for us to bet on something like PrizePicks or Underdog, where all the sportsbook data is telling us that the under is the way to go. And the reason why I think the overs on traditional sportsbooks is the way to go is because you look at his per 36 production, averages 17.3 points, 5.4 rebounds, 8.2 assists. And so I'm a little bit shocked that this 7.5 assist is actually like at 7 as a push. That's interesting there. Overall, it's a 24% usage rate with Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon off the court. And actually, he played more minutes last game than 28. And so that's definitely an interesting line. But again, we do not need to target that one on PrizePicks or Underdog, because I think the issue with Westbrook is he can go cold shooting, especially. And so don't exactly need to target that one. One player that you look at his props throughout the season is Christian Braun. His lines have not really gone up, even though his role has clearly been a little bit more than what Vegas was expecting at the start of the season. And so we look at his game like, yeah, it's like, why hasn't this line went up a little bit more, especially when you take out Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon off the court? Again, kind of looking at his per 36 production. With those two players off the court, he averages 15.2 points per 36 and 6 rebounds. So just there, that puts him at about 21 points and rebounds. Now, I want to say the caveat, he has been playing extremely well. He could potentially just have an off-game shooting. That could happen, and I would say just looking at the game like that is probably due to happen soon, but still, I'm okay with this one as well. But the player we could be getting the best potential edge on is Peyton Watson, and that's just simply because of the minutes that he got really just last game. I'll pull that up here in a second, but his per 36 production with those players off the court, 14 points, 3.9 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 19% usage rate, 27 fantasy points. So I want to point out the fantasy points. If we get a fantasy scoreline for him, that could actually be our big edge, because I don't think they're truly going to account for the role that he's going to have in this game, most likely. So other than like Westbrook, Watson's the player that got the biggest bump in minutes, going from 20 to 31 minutes. And so he ended up shooting the basketball only 7 times. That is a concern. Had 9 free throws. Like, I don't love the idea of banking on free throws that much, but 16 points there. And so if he's playing that 30 minutes again, which I do think he'll do that, I do like the over points. And the nice thing about this is, again, like, yes, the average sportsbook line is about a 50-50, but at least it's not telling us to bet the under. And I want to call it, don't love the fact that the projection data is not like in the over, but they only have him projected to get 24 minutes, which could be a reason as to why. Obviously, if you get 7 more minutes in that game, that's going to be pretty big. Now, another spot that I actually decently like is going to be with the Toronto Raptors. So the Toronto Raptors are still going to be thin tonight. Scotty Barnes is still out. Emmanuel Quickley is going to be out. And so the player that we've been betting on a ton, and the lines are finally starting to get to where they should be, but they are still like too low as a whole. It's kind of weird that this has not caught up, because he has been getting the minutes. Grady Dick has averaged 29.2 points per 36, 3.5 rebounds, 3.1 assists, a 27% usage rate, and 42 fantasy points per 36 with those two players off the court. Now, yes, he could have a random day, like off night shooting. That could easily happen. Don't get me wrong. certainly on the table. Regardless, though, the lines are still too low. And I worry that literally, he's been on our bet slip in the last 4 games that he's been on. It's tough to go 5 for 5 on a player, especially when you're continuously betting the over here. So I guess I'm a little bit hesitant to that. But at the same time, the lines clearly haven't caught up enough. Another player that actually has been, really kind of going off lately is RJ Barrett. Now, RJ Barrett is a player that I do struggle with to bet on with his points with anything other than his points, because his production really up until this year, up until Quickly and Scotty Barnes being off the court, it was very much dictated by how many points he gets. So like if you're betting his over fantasy score, if you're betting his over PRA, it was too much predicated on his points. Lately, he has been crushing the over assists. And if you look at his per 36 production with them off the court, 9.3 assists per 36. Now this should go hand in hand with Grady Dick also having a good game. So I like the idea of pairing those two up together. And the nice thing about those two when you do that is the simple fact that the payout isn't being reduced, which is strange. Like that correlates pretty heavily. And it just, again, kind of looking at the game log, they did just play the Kings. He got the over in that game as well as Grady Dick. So I like to see that there. Jakob Poeltl is the one player that didn't get the over against the Kings. Only 24 for his PRA, but we can see they really haven't been properly accounted for Jakob Poeltl as well, where he just has been dominating, especially in the points and rebounds. He's not going to get 36 minutes, but if you look at his per 36 production, about 19 points, 13.3 rebounds. So for the most part, all these lines are still pretty good. If we're kind of looking for maybe a game stack here, I don't mind betting on Jakob Poeltl. Now, I do think it's worth calling out. I just kind of want to take a peek at the popular board here. LaMelo Ball was a bet that I was on last slate. When our slip went 5 for 6, he just kind of had an off night. The Hornets then, as a result, had an off night as well. The matchup with Minnesota was a bit of the concern. Now he's going against Detroit. He should be able to get this over. You don't expect him to have that many off nights in a row, although he really hasn't been playing all too well, but still the usage is there for him. And so I really could get behind that again. And then for me, that's kind of it. Now we are getting some fantasy score prop bets, not enough for me to really go in on for this video. And guys, we will be getting a lot of probably edges in college basketball today as well with these fantasy score prop bets, especially or specifically comparing them against Underdog. We're going to want to do that. Okay, so if you guys are a 9-to-5 member, be checking out the big prop line differences that we have between college basketball, between PrizePicks and Underdog, how they're valuing them. If you guys are not a 9-to-5 member, make sure you use the promo code Keep Cashing. You get 20% off your first 9-to-5 membership. Take the $10 a month membership, making $8 for the first month. It's already a great value, but take advantage of that promo code to get even a little bit more value. And so just real quickly, we'll take a peek at NHL. Not much going on there, guys. Again, just with how they had the board set up, we're really never going to get too many big edges there, unfortunately. College football, we're seeing a little bit of some prop line differences, but nothing too drastic. I would say we just have really this under rushing touchdowns, anytime touchdowns here for Buckley. That's a bet that I don't mind. Again, if you guys are searching for a bet for today only, this would probably be the route to go. Here's kind of an interesting prop line difference between PrizePicks and Underdog and the average sportsbook line as well for Brown with his rush yards. So at 90, obviously PrizePicks is a little bit too high there. Again, if you're just looking for some exposure for some games that are tonight, that'd be a route that you can go. It's not going to end up on my bet of the day because they're not great bets, but I get it. Everyone wants to have some bets going on for that night. This is one of those ones where it's a slight edge. It's worth calling out. You guys can enjoy that, have fun with that. And let's just sort it by prop line differences here. That's the biggest one. So if you guys want to use it, go for it. All right, so going to be getting into the bet of the day here, guys. Looking at it, just kind of recapping my favorite bets. I'm going to be going with Christian Braun. Again, potentially worry about him, maybe just having off night shooting. And the same is going to be for Grady Dick as well. And if Grady Dick has an off night shooting, that could affect RJ Barrett's ability to have over 5.5 assists. And you do worry about maybe just Toronto not having as good of a game. I also don't mind the over PRA for Jakob Poeltl, but that's obviously the nature of just betting on NBA. There's always variables: poor night shooting or getting into foul trouble. Those are really the biggest ones. We're taking the one top prop bet that we currently have on the PrizePicks board, and that's going to be the college basketball over fantasy score. Again, want to call out that we probably will get some decent college basketball prop line differences. And you know what? I'll put that in the comment section below if that pops up throughout the day. First, I'll put it in the Discord chat. I'll make the 9-to-5 members aware first, and then I'll place my own bets on that, and then I'll come into the comment section to let you guys know as well if they're still available. That's kind of the issue, is that anytime there's a big advantage, obviously they get bumped pretty quickly, and so that's what I'll do. If we get those big edges like that, I'll toss that in the comment section below, because we do get big edges on those, and I want you guys to be able to benefit, obviously, if you guys are still watching this video. And then I do like Kyrie Irving to get his over 24.5 points. That game is projected to be a blowout. He should be part of the reason as to why it's a blowout, but also maybe he gets to 24 points instead of 25 or 24. Yeah, 25 points to get the over 24.5. And then to get more action for tonight specifically, I'm going to go with the under anytime touchdowns there in that college football game. Again, just trying to get more action with the college football slate. It's a little bit fun there, right? All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. That does help out a lot. It really does, guys. Appreciate the likes I've got on the last video. If you guys have your favorite bet, or if you guys question any of the bets that were called out in this video, let us know in the comment section below. Always happy to reply to comments, or just have people trying to help other people as well. All right, that's going to be all, guys. Make sure to give a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.